crash of the world falling.
We must not fundamentally transform America as some would want. We must restore America and restore her honor.
Yeah. Stone by stone. We've got to rebuild our home by home.
It was an amazing event, and I thank you for coming on 828. Bill O'Reilly is doing an hour on this tonight. You don't want to miss it. I want to show you something. Can you grab this, Harry? This is the actual speech that I gave. This is the way I write my speeches. I write them in bullet points. But this was the main point. Firm reliance on divine providence. I want to challenge you in the next 40 days. In the next 40 days, I want you to find out, just remember this one phrase. With firm reliance on divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. That's from the end of the Declaration of Independence. Use that as your guide. Firm reliance on divine providence. Do you even know what you believe? Do you know why you go to the church you go to? Do you? Do you really listen? Does it make an impact, or is it something that you just do? Don't just go to church because it's something you've always done. Believe in the church, your synagogue, or whatever you go to. Believe in it because you're going to need it. You're going to need firm reliance on divine providence. Once you know who He is, you'll know who you are. And that's another key. You must know who you are. If you're going to be a help to anyone as troubled times comes, you're going to have to know who you are. You won't be someone that will compromise your principles, and you'll be able to help, and you won't be afraid because, quite honestly, you'll have firm reliance on divine providence. That's the first place. You have to know that you have a purpose, that everyone can make a difference. You were born at this time for a reason. Find out what the reason was. And don't tell me that you're too small or too insignificant. I told a story earlier today on the radio of a school teacher. I think it was third grade. She told a boy once, he was always in trouble. She just grabbed him and said, "You're not that boy. You're a good boy. You're good." She probably died and never thought that she had anything that she contributed. She did the right thing. Her life had a purpose. This isn't a famous story. Nobody knows the people. That phrase in third grade actually saved a man's life because that little boy grew up and was causing trouble again. Got into a fight, darn near killed a man. He didn't, because as he was going to kill him, he remembered the words of his third grade teacher. "You're not that boy. You're a good boy." She saved a life. Everyone has a purpose. Find what yours is. Firm reliance on divine providence. We mutually pledge to each other our lives. Well, Martin Luther King did that. Lincoln did that. We have the vets that have done that. But George Washington did it as well. Wait a minute. He didn't die for his country. Yes, he did. He served his whole life. He gave up what he wanted. "Have I not yet done enough for my country?" said George Washington as they knocked on his door and said, "You got to come back, General. We need you. You're going to have to give up things that you want to serve." And then our lives are fortunes. Our children's future is at stake. Our children's freedom. It's immoral what we're doing. We're going to have to give up our fortunes. We're going to have to give up. Maybe you're not going to be able to retire at 65. Maybe you're not going to be able to retire ever. Maybe you're not going to have the ending to your life that you thought you were going to have. But as a father of a special needs child, I know that when my daughter had strokes at birth, I got down on my knees and I prayed, "Lord, give it to me. Give it to me. Please, let her have a chance." That is the position we as parents must find ourselves in now. Please, Lord, we'll do the hard work so they don't have to be slaves to giant debt or a loss of freedom. Please give it to us. When we become those people, we're on the road to recovery. Also, tithe 10%. Tithe 10%. If you don't believe in your church enough to give them 10%, why are you going to that church? Tithe. The people that I introduced in the Black Robe Brigade, they now represent, it's because this is just a small number of them. This is the largest, they believe, largest faith coalition ever assembled. Bigger, I was told, than the Christian coalition was with Reagan. This is going to have enormous power. But these people are going to be in trouble in their churches and in their synagogues and in their mosques, because they're going to stand for the principles that you were created and given rights by that creator. That's pretty intense. Tithe. They're going to come under attack. And then the last one is sacred honor. That's telling the truth even at your expense. Telling the truth when it matters and when it doesn't. Put yourself in the blaze. Know that sacred fire will purify anything in anyone's life that isn't true. They put out a $100,000 reward for anything on me, phone records or anything, today. The very gates of hell are going to open up. That's okay. Anything that anybody says about me in the last 10 years is a lie. Anything they say before that, pretty good shot. But I changed my life. That's what we all need to do. Change your life. And then you can sleep at night with firm reliance on divine providence. We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. That is the code. That is the answer. Get there within 40 days and 40 nights. America needs you. Back in a second.